Okay, if you've got 2 star, then this is your first of solving 2-step equations. I'm going to do 4 examples for you, and then you'll do your worksheet. You must watch this video before your worksheet, and please make notes in your homework book. Okay, here are the 4 examples. Example 1, 3x plus 2 equals 17. There are a couple of different methods. I'm going to start off with the formal method. This method is the most useful if you're going to continue on to high level questions, but I also use the function machine method if this method's a bit confusing. So when we solve an equation, we want to end up with x equals, and I have some things on this side that I do not currently want. I have this plus 2 and I have this 3. The plus 2 is furthest away from x, so I'll get rid of it first. To get rid of plus 2, I have to do the opposite, which is subtract 2. Okay, but if I do it to one side, must do to the other. Those cancel. I'm left with 3x equals 17 subtract 2. Okay, now I've still got a 3 I don't want. This means 3 times x. Opposite of 3 times is divide by 3. So I'm going to divide both sides by 3. 3's cancel, and I have x equals, and 15 divided by 3 is 5. Okay. If you prefer a function machine method, that would look like this. X is your unknown. 3x means multiply x by 3. Then I've got plus 2, gives me 17. The inverse of plus 2, subtract 2. Inverse of times 3, divide by 3. 17 subtract 2, 15 divided by 3, 5. So you get the same answer either method. Okay, question 2, 5 plus 3x equals 11. I'll do both methods again. So this method, once again, things I don't want on this side. I've got a 5 I don't want and a 3. The 5 is the further away one, so I need to get rid of 5. Now 5 on a number line means positive 5, so this should have an invisible positive sign here. Get rid of it. Subtract 5, subtract 5. 3x equals 6. And divide by 3. X equals 2. Put it with bubbles. X is my letter. 3x means times 3. Remember that 5 means plus 5. Gives me 11. And then the inverse, subtract 5, divide by 3. 11 subtract 5 is 6, divided by 3 is 2, which is the same answer. Okay, question 3. 4x minus 7 is 10. 4x subtract 7 is 10. Okay, once again, I've got things I don't want. I want to isolate x, so I've got this 4x, so I've got the 4 and I've got the minus 7. Let's get rid of the minus 7 first because it's the furthest away. The inverse of minus 7, 4x equals 17. And I want to get rid of the 4, so divide by 4. Now this is why we write divide like this, because 17 isn't a multiple of 4. I can't go 4, my 4's go 4, 8, 16, sorry, 4, 8, 12, 16, 20. 17 is not one. So I can actually just leave this as a fraction, 17 over 4, and I can't simplify that. So that's my answer. Let's do it with my bubbles. I've got x, 4x means times 4, take away 7, gives me 10, inverse, plus 7, divide by 4, 10 plus 7, 17, and now divide by 4. Now we've got a bit of a problem because, at least with this method, it's already written out correctly. So I want 17 divided by 4. So I suppose you could do it like this, 17 divided by 4. And then you'd need some remainders, 4's into 10, 2, remainder 2, 4.25. So you could also write x equals 4.25 if you prefer. Both would get you the full marks. That's why this method is actually quite useful. Okay, and for the final one, 3x plus 25 equals 16. Okay, so subtract 25, 3x equals, now 16 take away 25 is less than 0. It's quite hard sometimes to subtract that way around, so why don't I do 25 take away 16, that's 9, so 16 take away 25 is negative 9. Divide both sides by 3, x equals, well 9 divided by 3 is 3, so negative 9 divided by 3 is negative 3. Could do the same for this, x times 3 plus 25, 16, take away 25, divide by 3, negative 9, negative 3. Okay, now you have a go with the worksheet.